It began on a quiet night. No sirens, no warnings, just light. Strange, silent light filling the sky. People first thought it was a meteor shower. The stars glowed brighter than ever before, moving in strange patterns. Then one by one they stopped. They were not stars at all. They were ships. Huge ships. From the deserts of Africa to the frozen plains of Siberia, people looked up in silence as the night sky turned silver. Some prayed. Some screamed. Some recorded everything on their phones, not knowing they were filming the end of their world. Within minutes, every satellite went dark. The internet crashed. Planes dropped from the sky. Power grids shut down. Entire cities fell into darkness. Then came the first message. Not from Earth. A voice echoed across every radio, every broken screen, every transmission device left alive. It spoke in a calm, cold tone, translated into every language. This world now belongs to the Zorith Dominion. Do not resist. The voice was followed by silence, no demands. No explosions. Just silence. At first, governments tried to respond. The United Nations tried to send a message, but every signal was blocked. No missile could lock onto their ships. No radar could see them. They were invisible, untouchable, perfect. Within hours, every defense system was offline. Military bases stopped reporting. The skies were full of shadows, enormous alien vessels that never fired a single shot. They didn't need to. Humanity had been defeated before it could even fight. Days passed. The world changed. The invaders didn't destroy cities. They just hovered above them, watching, studying. Sometimes, bright lights shone down from the sky, scanning everything below. Roads, cars, people. No one knew what they wanted. In New York, people hid in subway tunnels. In Tokyo, the streets were empty. In the deserts, entire towns vanished overnight, leaving behind only empty houses and blackened sand. And yet, no human bodies were found. One man, Dr. Alan Pierce, sat in a bunker deep beneath Nevada. He was a scientist, one of the few who still had power. Around him, screens showed fragments of data, energy readings, heat signatures, strange alien frequencies. He whispered to his team, "They're not destroying us. They're mapping us." A young technician looked up, trembling. "Mapping us for what?" Pierce stared at the screens, thousands of alien signals moving in perfect formation. "For something bigger," he said quietly. High above Earth, inside the lead Zorith command ship, the alien commander observed the planet. His skin shimmered like glass, his eyes glowing white. He spoke to his second in command. "Primitive world. Weak defense. They still use combustion engines. Capture their data. Extract resources. Leave the bodies alive." The second officer nodded but hesitated. "Commander, some human systems are still active. They're satellites. They are moving without power." The commander frowned. "Impossible." He turned to the screen and froze. Several human satellites, supposedly dead for days, were slowly aligning themselves into a formation. Back on Earth, deep under the Rocky Mountains, a signal came to life. A low hum spread through a dark control room as ancient computers powered up. Red lights flickered on consoles that hadn't been touched for decades. A voice spoke through the darkness. "Project Horizon, Phase 1, activated." No one outside knew. No one on Earth had been told that humanity had built something long ago, something waiting for the day invaders would come. Meanwhile, the Zorith fleet began to lose communication. One ship reported its scanners malfunctioning. Another said its data was being copied. Then, suddenly, one of their ships vanished. No explosion, no trace, just gone. The commander stood in disbelief. "Find that vessel." But his officers couldn't. The ship was erased from every record, as if it had never existed. He whispered, "What kind of world is this?" On the ground, Dr. Pierce watched a strange signal appear on his monitor. It wasn't alien, it was human. A message hidden deep within the system, waiting for decades. It said, "If they come, let them see what we've become." Pierce leaned back, his heart pounding. He whispered, "Maybe we're not the ones who should be afraid." Outside, the alien ships began to drift, uncertain, scanning faster, moving slower. For the first time, they looked nervous. Something on Earth was moving. Something old. Something powerful. The invasion had begun, but humanity's answer was only just awakening. The world was quiet. Too quiet. The sky was filled with alien ships. massive silver-grey structures that floated like frozen clouds. They didn't move fast, they didn't attack, but they were always there, watching, waiting. For most people, life had stopped. There were no governments anymore, no armies, no news. The power grids were gone, cities were silent. Only the hum of alien drones filled the air. Floating over ruins and abandoned streets, the Zoreth Dominion called it peaceful control, but to the people of Earth, it was a cage made of silence. In orbit, the alien commander, General Xylar, observed Earth from the command deck of his flagship. His face glowed faintly blue from the reflection of the planet below. He spoke in a calm, mechanical tone. Phase 1 complete. The human world is fully neutralized. Begin data extraction. His officers bowed and activated machines that reached deep into Earth's atmosphere, pulling energy and information from abandoned satellites and computers. The aliens didn't want the planet itself. They wanted its knowledge. But something was wrong, one of the officers hissed. Commander, I detect unauthorized transmissions on the lower spectrum. Human signals. Xylar turned. Impossible. We disabled their networks. The officer shook his head. Then explain this. The screen showed a faint pattern of radio waves, but small. Random pulses repeating again and again. ... Old Earth Morse code. The message was clear. We are still here. In the ruins of London, small groups of humans gathered in underground tunnels. They used flashlights, old radios, and handwritten notes to stay in touch. Among them was Sergeant Maria Cole, a former communications officer who had survived the first wave. She listened to the static on her old radio, and suddenly a signal came through. This is Haven. Repeat, this is Haven. Anyone receiving, respond. Maria grabbed the mic. This is London Outpost. We hear you. The voice on the other end was calm and firm. Stay hidden. Help is coming. Do not engage the invaders. Project Horizon is active. Maria froze. Project... What? But before she could ask again, the signal vanished. Up above, the Zoreth continued their silent takeover. They started building towers in the oceans, tall dark spires that reached from the water into the clouds. They said nothing about their purpose, but every time one of those towers came online, something strange happened. Weather patterns changed. Oceans shifted, and people nearby reported hearing faint voices, mechanical whispers in the air. Scientists trapped in bunkers recorded the strange phenomenon and gave it a name, the Echo. No one knew what it meant, but everyone felt the same thing. The planet itself was reacting. Meanwhile, the aliens noticed more oddities. Their machines began to fail without reason. Their drones would freeze mid-air and fall. Energy spikes appeared under the Earth's surface, but no known source could explain them. Commander Xylar ordered a full scan of the planet's core. When the results came, they didn't make sense. Energy readings were increasing from inside the Earth. Not geothermal, not natural, engineered. Commander, the science officer said softly, the humans are not just hiding. They are preparing. Xylar's eyes flashed with irritation. Impossible. They have no power left. The officer hesitated. Then why are their machines moving again? In a deep underground facility hidden beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Alan Pierce stood before a massive metal structure. It looked like a giant sphere covered in black plates, humming softly with blue light. His team worked quietly, reactivating systems that hadn't been touched in decades. How long until it's ready? Pierce asked. A technician replied, soon, but once we activate it, they'll detect us. Pierce nodded slowly. Let them. They think they're in control. It's time they learn what Earth really is. That same night, across the world, alien patrols began disappearing. Entire scouting groups went dark. No signals, no traces, no survivors. One alien soldier managed to transmit a final broken message before his feed cut out. They are everywhere. But we cannot see them. In orbit, Xylar stood at the viewing window, watching lightning flash across the dark side of Earth. He clenched his jaw, uneasy. Increase surveillance, he ordered. I want every inch of that world scanned. The officer obeyed. But before the scans could begin, the ship's lights flickered. Then a total blackout. The ship's systems rebooted. And a new message appeared on every screen. Written in a language the aliens had never seen before. It was human code. Simple, clean, terrifying. You are not the first to come here. You will not be the last to leave. Xylar stared at the words in silence. For the first time he felt something the Zorith had never known before. Fear. The invasion was no longer silent. It had just begun to scream. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in tunnels that had never been mapped, something was waking up. Massive doors opened slowly, groaning under the weight of time and dust. Inside those dark halls were machines, human-built, forgotten by history, but not by purpose. Project Horizon. It was not a weapon in the normal sense. It was something much older. A network built before the fall of the old world, hidden during times of peace. It connected secret bases, underground cities, and energy stations buried deep under mountains and oceans. When the aliens cut off the world's power, they thought humanity was done. But Horizon didn't need their grid. It had its own. In the command room of the main base under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Alan Pierce stood in front of the glowing sphere, the heart of Horizon. Blue lines of light crawled across its surface like veins, pulsing with slow, rhythmic energy. A young technician turned to him. "Sir, the reactor is stable. Global connection will begin in 2 hours." Pierce nodded, but his eyes were heavy with worry. "Once we connect, the Zorith will notice. They'll know we're still alive." The technician smiled faintly. "Then let them come. We've been waiting." Up in orbit aboard the alien flagship, General Xylar was restless. For the first time, his scanners were blind. The planet was showing strange interference, ghost signals, flickering between frequencies faster than any known human tech could manage. "What is this?" he hissed. "A natural phenomenon." His science officer replied, "No, Commander. It's coordinated. It's communication." "Between who?" Xylar demanded. The officer hesitated. "Between humans, but not using satellites. They're using the planet itself." Xylar turned sharply. "Explain." The officer pointed to the display, wave patterns pulsing through Earth's magnetic field. "They're sending messages through the crust. The energy flows underground, through the rock. It's like the planet is alive." Xylar's face darkened. "Alive or not, it will die if it resists." On the surface, small human groups began moving again. In the ruins of New York, Maria Cole and her team received a new signal on their old radio. It was a man's voice, calm and strong. "To all surviving humans, Project Horizon is active. Stay underground. Do not fight directly. The planet will fight for you." Maria stared at the radio, confused. "What does that mean? How can the planet fight?" Her second-in-command, Malik, looked up from a damaged drone. "I don't know," he said, "but maybe it's time we trust the people who planned for this." As they spoke, the ground under their feet vibrated, a low, deep hum, like the growl of a sleeping giant. Around the world, strange things started happening. Alien drones began losing power when they flew over certain areas. Their sensors went blind. Their weapons failed. In the Pacific Ocean, one of the aliens' ocean towers, a massive black spire, suddenly cracked from the inside. It didn't explode. It simply fell apart, as if the metal itself refused to hold together. The Zorith called it sabotage, but there were no humans anywhere near it. Something in the planet's magnetic field was disrupting alien technology. Something man-made, but deeply hidden. In the Horizon base, Dr. Pierce watched as signals from across the world lit up on the holographic map. Europe connected. Asia connected. Africa online. Each time a new connection appeared, a new pulse of blue light ran through the sphere. Pierce smiled faintly. "It's working." Then he turned to his team. "Remember what we built Horizon for. It's not just defense, it's a warning." Up in orbit, the Zorith flagship's alarm screamed. Energy spikes were being detected across the entire planet. Power grids they had destroyed were suddenly coming back online, stronger than before. "Commander," an officer shouted, "we are detecting weapon-grade energy beneath their crust." Xylar's expression hardened. "Launch the planetary strike. Burn it all. No mercy." But as his ships charged their cannons, something unexpected happened. The cannons shut down. Not by explosion. Not by attack. They simply refused to fire. The targeting systems went dark, replaced by strange human symbols that flashed across the alien screens. It was a countdown marked 8. Xylar panicked. "Stop it! Disable it!" The ship scrambled, but the human code spread faster than they could react. The countdown reached 1. Instead of an explosion, a single message appeared on every display. every control panel, every ship. This planet is not yours. The aliens froze. Then, slowly, the blue glow of Earth's atmosphere began to change. Faint waves of energy rippling across continents, connecting oceans, mountains, and cities. Horizon was awake, and the invasion had just turned into a war the Zorith could not understand. The Earth was no longer silent. It was speaking, and its voice was human. For days, the sky above Earth glowed faintly blue. The alien ships watched in confusion, unable to understand what was happening. Their scanners showed millions of unknown signals rising from beneath the planet's crust, like veins of energy. Spreading fast, Commander Xylar stood on the deck of his flagship, staring at the growing light below. "Report," he ordered. The science officer looked nervous. "Commander, the energy patterns are not random. They're forming shapes, structures." Xylar asked sharply. "Yes, sir. Geometric formations, miles wide, artificial, human-made." Xylar turned toward the planet, his eyes narrowing. "Then humanity has built something we did not see." He didn't know it yet, but he was staring at the awakening of Project Horizon's defense grid, a global system buried under the Earth for over a century. Deep underground, Dr. Alan Pierce stood before the main control screen. Lines of light connected every continent, forming a glowing network across the globe. "Status report," he called out. A voice replied, "All major nodes are online. Global pulse ready for activation." Pierce took a deep breath. "Then let's show them what humanity really is." He pressed the command key. A deep rumble shook the base. All around the world, dormant machines came alive. From the deserts, from the oceans, from under the ice, enormous structures rose from the ground wrapped in blue light. They weren't missiles. They weren't ships. They were sentinels, autonomous defense towers powered by Earth's magnetic field. Each one aimed its glowing core toward the sky. And then, in perfect synchronization, they fired. Blinding blue energy beams shot upward, striking the alien ships orbiting Earth. The first wave of Zorith vessels disintegrated instantly, torn apart by pure electromagnetic force. The aliens tried to counterattack, but their targeting systems failed. Their energy weapons refused to charge. Their shields flickered and died. "Commander," shouted an officer on Xylar's ship, "our systems are collapsing. Their planet is draining us." Xylar slammed his clawed hand onto the console. "No, they are primitive. This is not possible." But it was. Humanity had done something the aliens could never imagine. They had merged technology with the planet itself. Every pulse of the Earth's magnetic field now carried Horizon's signal. Every storm, every lightning bolt, every tremor, all of it was now part of the defense system. On the ground, people watched the skies light up. For the first time in months, they felt hope. Maria Cole stood on a rooftop in the ruins of New York, staring up as alien ships fell like burning comets. "We're fighting back," she whispered. Malik smiled beside her. "No," he said quietly. "Earth is fighting back for us." All over the world, human resistance teams came out of hiding. They used the chaos to take down alien drones, capture their tech and reconnect old communication lines. The message spread fast. Horizon is active. Earth is awake. In orbit, Xylar's ship trembled violently. Every attempt to retreat failed. Their engines were dead, their systems corrupted. "Commander, we're losing power!" Xylar glared at the planet below. "Then we will strike with everything we have left." He opened a private command line and activated the planet cracker, a forbidden weapon capable of destroying an entire world. But as he tried to arm it, his control screen flickered, and then a human face appeared on it. It was Dr. Pierce. "General Xylar," Pierce said calmly, "you came to conquer us, but you never understood what this planet really is." Xylar growled. "You think this will save you? You cannot stop the Dominion." Pierce smiled faintly. "We don't need to. Earth will do that for us." The screen went black. Outside, Xylar's ship began to shake again. Strange energy currents surrounded it, streams of blue light rising from Earth like living tendrils. They coiled around the alien vessel, pulling it downward. "Commander!" "The gravity field, it's reversing," Xylar shouted. "Fire thrusters! Break free!" But it was too late. The ship was caught in the planet's magnetic grip. As it fell, Xylar looked out the window and saw something impossible. The continents themselves were glowing, forming massive symbols visible from space. It was a message, written across the planet in lines of light. We are humanity. This is our home. Xyla's flagship crashed into the upper atmosphere and burned, breaking apart before it could strike the ground. The surviving alien ships tried to escape, but the planet's pulse followed them, shutting down their systems one by one. Within hours, the Zoreth invasion fleet was gone. Only silence remained, but this time it wasn't the silence of defeat. It was the silence before humanity's next move. Down below, Dr. Pierce stood quietly as the Horizon systems stabilized. Maria's voice came over the radio. "Dr. Pierce, the skies are clear. We did it." Pierce looked at the glowing sphere, its light softer now. "No," he said. "This was only defense. The real war hasn't even started yet. The world had survived the invasion, but now it was time for humanity to strike back." The sky was quiet again. The alien ships were gone, scattered wrecks burning in orbit, drifting like broken stars. For the first time in months, Earth was free, but the humans were not celebrating. Not yet. Dr. Alan Pierce stood in the underground command center, staring at the glowing holographic map of the world. Around him, screens showed the same message from every surviving human base. Horizon active. "Resistance alive." Pierce turned to his team. "They'll come back," he said. "They always do." Everyone in the room knew he was right. The Zoreth Dominion ruled hundreds of worlds. They would not accept defeat from one small planet, especially not from a human one. So humanity had a choice: wait for another invasion, or take the fight to them. In the ruins of New York, Maria Cole stood among the survivors. They were rebuilding old transport ships, scavenging alien metal from fallen drones and ships. Her radio crackled. "Maria, this is command. We need pilots for the Horizon Initiative. Phase 2. She looked up, her eyes narrowing. "Phase 2? Yes, we're going to space." Maria smiled for the first time in weeks. "Count me in." Days turned into weeks. Humanity moved fast. The wreckage of alien ships became the foundation of something new. The first human fleet. Old military hangars were turned into space docks. Engineers worked around the clock, blending alien technology with human design. Where the Zoreth had used fear, humans used creativity. Where the aliens relied on dominance, humans relied on adaptability. Each ship was small but powerful. Each pilot trained not just to fly, but to fight like Earth itself. They called their fleet Project Dawn, up in orbit. The first of the new ships launched, the Valiant, a hybrid warship built from the remains of Xylar's destroyed flagship. Maria Cole sat in the pilot's seat, her hands trembling slightly as she looked out the window. The stars were close now, closer than ever. "Command, this is Valiant. We are ready for launch." Dr. Pierce's voice came through the calm. "Maria, this is humanity's first step beyond Earth since the invasion. Make it count." "Always," she replied. The engines flared blue, and the Valiant rose from the atmosphere like a phoenix from the ashes. Meanwhile, deep within the Zoreth Dominion, the news of their defeat reached the Council. The High Commander slammed his clawed hand onto the table. One planet, one primitive world destroyed an entire fleet. An advisor replied nervously. They used the planet itself as a weapon. We were unprepared. "Then prepare again," the commander roared. "Send reinforcements. Burn that world to dust." But before he could continue, a hologram appeared in the middle of the room, human code flickering in the alien language. The message was short: "We are coming." The council stared in disbelief. Humans had sent a signal into their territory. They're attacking us," one officer whispered. The High Commander hissed, "Then let them come. We will crush them." But deep down, even he felt something he hadn't felt in centuries: fear. The first human fleet left Earth 2 weeks later. 10 ships, small, fast and silent, flew through the black void toward the Zoreth border. They weren't just soldiers. They were engineers, pilots, scientists, people who had lost everything and wanted only one thing: revenge. Maria Cole led the formation. "All units, stay low on scans. Remember, they see us as prey. Let's show them what hunters look like." The fleet moved like shadows through space. Their first target, a Zoreth mining station orbiting a dead moon. The same station that had supplied energy for Earth's invasion. The alien workers didn't even have time to sound an alarm. Human ships appeared out of nowhere, firing focused EMP blasts that disabled every defense system in seconds. The Valiant's engines roared as Maria locked onto the central core. "For Earth," she whispered, and fired. The explosion lit up the moon like sunrise. Back on Earth, people watched the broadcast with tears in their eyes. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't fighting for survival. They were fighting for justice. Dr. Pierce stood in the Horizon control room, listening to the cheers echo through the halls. "They'll notice us now," one officer said. "They'll send everything they have." Pierce nodded slowly. "Good. Let them. They wanted to test humanity's strength." He turned to the glowing sphere, its light pulsing like a heartbeat. "Now they'll see what happens when we fight as one." As the Valiant and the rest of the fleet disappeared into deep space, Earth glowed faintly behind them, a blue beacon of defiance in the dark. The war was no longer about invasion. It was about reputation, revenge, and respect, and this time humanity wasn't defending their home. They were taking the galaxy. The stars had never looked so close. For weeks, the human fleet traveled through deep space, past asteroid belts, dead planets, and the wreckage of forgotten civilizations. Each jump brought them closer to the heart of the Zorith Dominion, the place where the invasion of Earth had begun. Maria Cole stood at the front of the command deck of the Valiant, watching the faint red glow of a massive planet in the distance. Zorith Prime, the enemy's homeworld. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were cold. "All ships prepare for descent." The human fleet moved like silent predators. No massive weapons, no giant battleships. Just precision, unity, and purpose. In the alien capital, panic spread across the Zorith Council chamber. Scanners showed hundreds of unknown signals approaching. "Identify them!" barked the High Commander. "Unknown configuration, sir," replied an officer. "Small crafts. Human origin." The room went silent. "Humans?" The High Commander laughed. "They dare to come here? To our home?" But even as he spoke, the lights in the chamber flickered. The walls trembled. A faint blue glow appeared outside the city, spreading through the clouds like veins of lightning. "Commander," the officer said quietly, "it's the same energy signature from Earth." The High Commander froze. Impossible. That power was bound to their planet. Up above, the human fleet had released Horizon nodes, portable reactors carrying fragments of the same system that defended Earth. Each node burrowed into the crust of Zorith Prime, connecting to the planet's magnetic field. Within minutes, the entire planet began to resonate with deep rhythmic pulses. The Zorith's own world was turning against them. On the Valiant, Maria watched the readings spike. "Dr. Pierce, the nodes are active." Pierce's voice came through the comms from Earth. "Then finish it. The message must be clear." "Understood," she said. She looked at her crew, tired, scarred, determined. For every city they burned, for every voice they silenced. "For Earth," her hand hovered over the control panel. "Activate Horizon Pulse." The moment she pressed the command, the stars blinked. Blue energy spread across Zorith Prime's sky, wrapping the planet in a glowing net. Alien ships rose to fight back, but their weapons failed. Their shields collapsed. Their engines died. In the capital, buildings shook violently as the ground split open. The High Commander screamed, "Deactivate their signal!" But his own computers betrayed him. Human code appeared across every alien screen, flashing again and again. The same haunting message that had once appeared on their ships above Earth. "You are not the first to come. You will not be the last to fall." Then the pulse hit. A wave of light spread from the planet's core, traveling faster than sound. It didn't destroy the planet, it simply silenced it. Every alien machine shut down. Every weapon turned to ash. Every starship in orbit went dark. And then, across the galaxy, transmissions began to echo. On distant worlds, alien empires received the same signal, a broadcast sent from the human fleet. Translated into every known language, Dr. Pierce's voice filled the stars. "To all who hear this message, humanity does not seek war, but we will never bow again. You came to conquer us. You called us primitive. Now you will remember us as the species that woke the galaxy. This is your final warning. Defy Earth again and witness the end." The message repeated across every star network, bouncing from planet to planet. The name Earth spread like fire, spoken with fear, awe, and respect. Back on the surface of Zorith Prime, Maria and her team stood inside the glowing ruins. The alien city was quiet, no screams, no engines, no life, just silence. She looked up at the strange alien sky and whispered, "It's over." Pierce's voice replied in her earpiece, soft and proud. "No, Captain, it's just the beginning," Maria smiled. "Then let's go home." As the fleet turned away from the dying planet, the horizon systems deactivated. The blue light faded, leaving only the dark beauty of space behind. From Earth's orbit, Dr. Pierce watched the return signal, the fleet coming home. He leaned forward, whispering to himself, "They wanted slaves. They created legends. The galaxy would never be the same again. The humans had risen, not as victims, but as the new power among the stars, and their warning still echoed across the void. We are humanity. We fight as one. We do not forgive. We do not forget."